not home tonight?
Not to his father. I spoke with his man.
Why, that same pale, hard-hearted wench that Rosaline torments him so that he'll sure run mad.
Tybalt, the kinsman to old Capulet, hath sent a letter to his father's house.
A challenge on my life?
Romeo will answer it.
Any man that can write may answer a letter.
Nay, he will answer the letter's master how he dares, being dare.
Alas, poor Romeo, he is already dead, stabbed with a white wench's black eye, shot through the ear with a love song. The very pin of his heart cleft with a blind boy's butt shot. And he is a man to encounter Tybalt?
Why? What is Tybalt?
More than Prince of Cats. Oh, he's the courageous captain of compliments. He fights as you sing prick song, keeps time, distance, and proportion. He rests his men and rests 1, 2, and the third in your bosom. The very butcher of a silk button. A duelist. A gentleman of the very first house, of the first and second cause. Ah, the immortal Trasado, the Punto Reverso, and the Hay.
The what?
The pox of such antic, lisping, affecting fantasticos, these new tuners of accent. By Jesu, a very good blade, a very tall man, a very good whore. Why is not this a lamentable thing, grandsire, that we should be thus afflicted with these strange flies, these fashion-mongers, these pardonnees, who stand so much on the new form that they cannot sit at ease on the old bench? Oh, their bones, their bones.
I feel like... Here comes Romeo, here comes Romeo.
Without his roe, like a dried herring, O flesh, flesh, how art thou fishified? Now he is for the numbers that per charge flowed in. Laura, to his lady, was a kitchen wench, Mary. She had a better love to be rhymer. Ditto a dowdy, Cleopatra a gypsy, Helen and Hero, Hellings and harlots. Thisbe a grey eye or so, not to the purpose. Signor, Romeo, bonjour. That's a French salutation to your French slob. You gave us the counterfeit fairly last night.
Good morrow to you both. What counterfeit did I give you?
The slip, sir, the slip. Can you not conceive?
Pardon, good Mercutio. My business was great, and in such a case as mine, a man may strain courtesy.
That's as much as to say, in such a case as yours constrains a man to blow in the hams.
Meaning to courtesy.
Thou hast most kindly hit it.
A most courteous exposition.
Hey, I'm the very pink of courtesy.
Pink for flower.
Right.
Why then is my pump well flowered?
Sheer wit, follow me this jest now, till thou hast worn out thy pump. When the single soul of it's worn, the jest may remain after the wearing, solely singular.
Oh, single soul jest, solely singular for the singleness.
Come between us, good Benvolio, my wit's faint.
Switch and spurs, or I'll cry a match.
Nay, if our wits run the wild goose chase, I am done, for thou hast more of the wild goose than one of thy wits then. I am sure, I have in my whole 5. Was I with you there for the goose?
Thou wast never with me for anything when thou wast not there for the goose.
I will bite thee by the ear for that jest.
Nay, good goose, bite not.
Thy wit is a very bitter sweeting. It is a most sharp sauce.
And it is not then well served into a sweet goose.
Oh, here's the wit of Cheveril, that stretches from an inch narrow to an ell broad.
I stretch it for that word broad, which added to the goose proves thee far and wide a broad goose.
Why, is not this better than groaning for love? Now art thou sociable, now art thou Romeo, now art thou what thou art, by art as well as by nature. For this dribbling love is like a great natural that runs lolling up and down to hide its babble in a hole.
Stop there, stop there.
Thou desirest me to soften my tail against the hair?
Thou wouldst else have made thy tail large.
Oh, thou art deceived. I would have made it short, for I was come to the whole depth of my tail, and meant indeed to occupy the argument alone.
Here's goodly gear.
A sail! A sail! Two, a shirt and smock.
Peter!
Anon!
My fan, Peter!
Good Peter to hide her face, for her fans fair face.
Good ye, good morrow.
Good ye, good den, fair gentlewoman.
Is it good then?
'Tis no less, I tell ye, for the body hand of the dial is now upon the crooked noon.
Out upon you, what a man are you?
One gentlewoman that God hath made for himself to mar.
By my troth, it is well said. For himself to mar, quoth he. Gentlemen, can any of you tell me where I may find young Romeo?
I can tell you, but young Romeo was older when you found him than he was when you sought him. I am the youngest of that name for fault of a lord.
You say well.
Yeah, is the worst well? Very well took, in fate, wisely, wisely.
If you be he, sir, I desire some conference with you.
She will indict him to some supper.
Abad, so ho.
What hast thou found?
No hair, sir, unless a hair, sir, and a Lenten pie that is something stale and a poor air be spent. An old hair whore and an old hair whore. It is very good meat in Lent, but a hair that is whore is too much for a score when a whore's air be spent. Romeo, will you come to your father's? Will to dinner thither.
I will follow you.
Farewell, ancient lady, farewell. Lady.
I pray you, sir, what saucy merchant was this that was so full of his ropery?
A gentleman, nurse, that loves to hear himself talk and will speak more in a minute than he will in a month.
And he'd speak anything against me, I'll take him down. And he were lustier than he is, and 20 such jacks. If I cannot, I'll find those that shall. Scurvy knave! I am none of his flirt gills. I'm none of his skeins mates. And thou must stand by too, and suffer every knave to use me at his pleasure.
I saw no man use you as his pleasure. If I had, my weapon should have quickly been drawn. I warrant you, I dare draw as soon as another man. If the occasion be a good quarrel and the law is on my side.
Now, afore God, I'm so vexed that every part of me quivers. Scurvy knave! Pray you, sir, a word. And as I told you, my young lady bid me inquire you out. What she bid me say, I will keep to myself. But first, let me tell ye, if ye should lead her into a fool's paradise, as they say, it were a very gross kind of behavior, as they said. For the gentlewoman is young, and therefore you should you deal double. With her, truly it were an ill thing to be offered to any gentlewoman.
Nurse, command me to thy lady and mistress. I protest unto thee.
Good heart, and in faith I will tell her as much. Lord, she will be a joyful woman.
What wilt thou tell her, nurse? Thou dost not mark me.
I will tell her, sir, that you do protest, which, as I take, is a gentlemanlike oath.
Bid her devise. Some means to some comes to shrift this afternoon, and there she shall at Friars Lawrence's cell be shrived and married. Here is for thy pains.
No, truly, sir, not a penny.
Go to, I say you shall.
This afternoon, sir. Well, she shall be there.
And stay, good nurse, behind the abbey wall. Within this hour my man shall be with thee. And bring thee cords made like a tackled stair, which to high top gallant of my joy must be my convoy in the secret night. Farewell, be trusty, and I'll quit thy pains. Farewell, commend me to my mistress.
Now God in heaven bless thee. Hark you, sir.
What sayest thou, my dear nurse?
Is your man secret? Did you never hear say, two may keep counsel putting one away?
I warrant thee my man's as true as steel.
Well, sir, my mistress is the sweetest lady. Lord, 'twas a little prating thing. Oh, there's a nobleman in town, one Paris, that would lay fain knife aboard. But she, good soul, has a lief see a toad, a very toad as see him. I anger her sometimes, and tell her that Paris is a proper man. But I'll warrant you, when I say so, she looks as pale as any cloud in the versal world. Doth not Rosemary and Romeo both begin with a letter?
Aye, nurse, what of that? Both with an R.
Ah, mocker, what's the dog's name? R is for that... No, I know it begins with some other letter, and she hath the prettiest sententious of it, of you and Rosemary, that it would do no good to hear it.
Commend me to thy lady.
Aye, 1,000 times, Peter.
Not.
Before I